Hello students, in the today I will also continue with the chapter air pressure. In the last video I've explained about the high pressure and the low pressure. So in this video I will start with the wind. So let us first see what is the definition of the wind. What is the definition of it? The air which is moving horizontally to the earth's surface, we are calling it as the wind. So what is wind? The horizontal movement of the air on the earth's surface, we are calling it as the wind. And this wind plays a very important characteristics for the weather phenomena, or you can see that changes in the weather. The wind plays a very important role. Okay, so now let us see what are the reasons for the flow of the wind, how winds are formed. Okay, so how the winds are formed? The wind are produced by the pressure difference between two regions, or pressure difference of air between two places or between the places. So when the pressure difference occurs, so the air from the high pressure zone actually moves towards the low pressure zone, and by this it actually balances the air pressure throughout the world. Okay, so the how the wind is moving, the wind actually moves from one pressure zone to the other pressure zone, and this movement of the wind takes place when the pressure of means by the difference of the pressure between the two region, that is from the high pressure zones, the wind started to blow towards the low pressure zone, and in this way it maintains the global pressure belt balance on the earth's surface. But there are some situations when the balance of air pressure also gets disturbed. Okay, how or in which way it is occurring? When a great difference of air pressure occurs between the low pressure zone and the high pressure zone. So in order to maintain the balance, what happens? The winds from the high pressure zone rushes towards the low pressure zone, and that winds that blow from this high pressure to the low pressure zone are very strong wind, and which has got a devastating effect. Okay, As a result of that, or these types of the winds are being named differently in different places of the world. For example, cyclones in Indian Ocean, then it is known by the name typhoon in South China Sea, then by the name tornado in Mexico Valley, and by the name hurricane in the Caribbean Sea or the Gulf of Mexico. So what this thing is that so we know that there is a global balance of air pressure and the wind system is there on the earth's surface, but sometimes happens that the pressure difference between the two area or the two places become the difference become very vast or becomes very huge. When it becomes very vast or very huge, what happens, the winds from the high pressure zone actually rushes or blow at a greater speeds towards the low pressure zone, and when it blows at a greater speed and when it rushes towards with a greater speeds towards the low pressure zone, what happens, the wind has got a greater speed and the velocity, and as a result of that it becomes or it gives a devastating or it devastating effects on the region from where it is blowing. Okay, so that strong types of the winds is being named differently in different regions. For example, cyclones in the Indian Ocean, typhoon in the South China Sea, tornado in the Mexico Valley, and hurricane in the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico. This winds can be classified or can be divided into 4 types. One is a permanent wind or planetary wind. Next one is the periodic wind. Then we have the local wind. The last one is a sudden or irregular wind. So what is this planetary winds? The planetary winds are the permanent winds, are those winds which are present throughout the world and blows in a permanent direction. Example of this is a trade wind. Okay, what is periodic wind? Which blows in a particular period. We are calling it as the periodic wind. Example is a land breeze. What is local winds? That which the wind that blow locally, we are calling it as the local wind. Example of it is Lu. And what is sudden and irregular winds? That with the winds which blow suddenly or in an irregular pattern, we are calling it as a sudden or irregular wind. Example is the cyclone. Okay, so with this the chapter is ended. Please go through the chapter very well, and thank you everyone.